Billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.
Under the Fair Use Act, these videos are for information and educational purposes, and I do not own the rights to any of these videos that are shown. All rights reserved to the original content creators.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy SL550, and this is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Before we start, man, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Help your boy on the road to monetization. Also, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time your boy drop a dope video. So today, man, so it's a lot going on right now. Some things, good, not necessarily good, depending on how you look at it. But we're going to break a few things down. So I want to get into, a judge, we're going to get into that, but a judge has told the feds, which is Donald Trump's administration, that he has to use emergency funds to pay SNAP recipients. So before we get into that, I just want to show two clips, one with Janelle Bynum and then Mark Kelly, two people in the Democratic Party. And I just want to show you them and what's their response to this whole shutdown. And we've showed things before, but it's just proof that these people are just playing games. And they needed a judge to make this ruling in order to bail them out, to be honest with you. They really needed this. And it's all about, and the thing I hate, man, is even these judges, it's all about trying to make Trump look bad in any way, shape, or form. But at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter. People do deserve to get their SNAP benefits, especially the ones who need it. And the Democrats should have stopped playing games from the gate, to be honest with you, and this all could have been avoided. So we're going to get into that. And then John Fetterman sat down with Forbes and had an interview, and even he is admitting that his own party is playing games and playing with people. And then we're going to end it with these trade rumors about the Eagles. Yo, it'd be so crazy if we could bust this move. But we'll get into that right now. Let's get into this interview with Janelle Bynum.
Joining us from Capitol Hill is Janelle Bynum, who is a Democrat from Oregon, represents the 5th District there. Congresswoman, let's begin with SNAP benefits. Funding runs out on Saturday. Should Democrats pass a standalone bill to fund SNAP benefits?
Good morning. Well, let's be clear. Republicans run the House, they run the Senate, they have the White House, they have the control to make sure that Americans get what they need. And I'm here standing up to make sure that we put forth front and center the American needs so no child goes hungry.
Is that a yes, then, that there should be a vote on the standalone legislation?
I'm here. My Republican colleagues are on vacation. We want to make sure that we stand up for American people. Speaker Johnson has the right and the control of the House so that we can have a vote. That's not in my control.
If he did, would you vote yes?
Put a bill on the table and we can look at it.
We talked earlier to Congressman Tim Burchett, Republican of Tennessee. He was on the program. And he made the argument that Democrats in previous situations avoided government shutdowns by voting 13 times for so-called clean continuing resolutions that would fund the government at the previous year's funding levels. Why not agree now?
Well, look, I just got here. I don't play politics. I want a clean bill that focuses on the American people, that makes sure kids have a full belly, and, all of the clean this, clean that. America's
Like, my thing is, just look how much they play. She's talking about, the thing is, they say the things that they so-called don't want to be and what they don't represent, but they're representing exactly that. Like, she knows it's already a clean bill. It's the exact same clean resolution bill that they already passed back in March. We already discussed this. But instead, they just want to continue to play politics. She knows what she's being asked. She knows. But instead of just being honest, it's all, I'm going to stick by the Democrats and the foolishness that they doing. And that's it. It's crazy, bro.
Don't understand that. They know if they have their benefits or not. So put a bill on the table, make sure it's very pure and clean, as they like to say, and it doesn't have a whole lot of fluff in it. I'm not here for games. I just want to make sure kids get fed.
They did have a clean CR vote on September 19th in the House. Did you vote for it?
I disagree with your characterization and want to make...
Now look, she literally just said they did have a clean CR bill, which they did in September, on September 19th. She said there was a clean bill on the floor. They rejected it. They did not vote for the clean CR bill. And she's talking about she rejects. Rejects what? And then she says, fluff. There's a whole bunch of, what fluff? This is the stuff I'm talking about. It's the same thing with solutions when it comes to the Democratic Party. There is none. They don't have any. They're playing politics. Instead of saying that, I'd rather you just say that. You know what I mean? Like the lady who said that they were using this as leverage. I'd rather you just say that and be honest about it. Like, this is what we're using as leverage. It sucks. It is what it is, but this is what we're doing. But instead, they try to act like this is not what they're doing and then say dumb shit like this. Well, these people are
sure that
crazy.
We're very clear about what Republicans have been doing. Any bill that they've put forth, they've always had some extra stuff to it. There's always been a poison pill to it. I disagree with your characterization.
What were the poison pills of the clean CR or the continuing resolution? You say it's not clean, that was voted on in the House in mid-September.
Look at her face. Look at her face. She just asked her a simple question. See, they're not used to getting this much pushback. They're not used to this. They're used to all of these news anchors playing along with their little game. But unfortunately, a lot of people are getting tired of the game. All this bipartisan shit. And she asked her a simple question. Let's see what she says.
Here's what's important. I think what you're trying to do is shift the responsibility to Democrats.
Nobody's trying to do any of that.
Speaker Johnson controls the House. He should come back, pull Republicans off of vacation, and make sure that we have discussions on what the country needs. We know children need to be fed. Anything else is passing the buck and is playing politics.
Hold on. She made a claim. She said that every time they have put the CR bill on the floor, there was a poison pill in it. She said, simple. What is the poison pill? Like, what is in it? Let us know so we can at least look into it. All she does is dance. That's what they do. These motherfuckers dance around the question, try to, move the goalposts. That's what they good at, man.
What have you heard from your constituents about Obamacare premiums? And without these enhanced tax credits, what are they learning about the cost of health care?
We've had 21 town halls. People are very concerned about their access to health care. What's really important to know is that even if your premiums aren't going up, even if you are not one of the people affected by changes to Medicare reimbursements or things like that, when you lose medical providers in an area because they can't afford to stay in business, everybody loses. So we lose access to pediatricians, we lose access to specialty providers, we lose access to our hospitals. The infrastructure of the American health care system is going to crumble if we don't have health care that everyone can access.
Another question for you, Congresswoman, switching gears, is about the deployment of National Guard to Portland area. What are you seeing in your district?
Well, my district houses Camp Withacombe, which is where one part of the National Guard is stationed. And I went and talked with them. I went and, just checked out to see what was happening over there. What is very clear to me is that our American soldiers don't want to be there doing political jobs. And the president is attempting to use the National Guard as his toy soldiers. We didn't ask for this. We don't need this. I went to the ICE facility to see if it was a war zone, as President Trump claimed. And I saw with my own two eyes, it was not that. It was peaceful protest. And I think the American people have been seeing that consistently.
Bro, these people are nothing but jokes, bro. You literally had one of the, I think he was like I think he was a high-ranking officer or whatever. He gets hit in the head with a rock, bro. But not even just that. They stand in front of vehicles. They're stopping ICE from trying to do their jobs. You seen the guy that shot at ICE agents and hit one of the illegal immigrants. Like, stop acting like this isn't an issue in America right now. You're literally paying people to go out and protest and cause drama. Y'all literally shut down the government knowing that people weren't going to get their SNAP benefits, and in return was going to cause what? Looting and all the bullshit that goes on when they do dumb shit. Yo, bro, these people are crazy, but they're literally trying to ruin America, bro. Like, I don't understand it, bro. This shit is sad, bro. All they do is lie, bro. That's why I tell you, bro, this politics shit, don't get sucked into it. It's good to know who you're voting for. Like right now, right? They got these two candidates in New Jersey. I'm going to vote on the 4th, bro. I'm going to play my part, bro. And I'm not voting for, forget her name, but it's a woman and a man. I'm voting for the guy. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna get some more information on that. But I'm voting for him, bro. Because she was asked, all I needed to do is see one clip. New Jersey is already expensive. I seen a clip where they was asked, it was on like a debate stage, and they was simply asked, will you raise taxes? And he said no, simply no, and said a few other things. And then she said, I'm not going to say what I'm going to do at this time. That simply means she is going to raise taxes in New Jersey. So if you're from New Jersey, please go out and vote on Tuesday and go vote for the guy. I'm going to get the names and show you, you make your decisions, look into it. But she's been involved in corruption, all types of stuff. She's not good for New Jersey. Most of these politicians aren't. That's why it's important for us to start really looking into who we're voting for and putting in these seats, man, because they trying to just rape us, bro. They just want to rape the American people, steal from us, rob us, and fake send it over to these fake projects overseas. But really, they're getting money put in their pockets, and probably leaders in other countries too. It's one big game. Yo, Huff High Limit, what's up with you? Exactly, man. I'm about to play this video, but I'm gonna find out, man. What's her name? I watched something about them probably like a week ago, but I was looking. I was watching a video today. It was talking about New Jersey might actually go red, and I was looking into it, and they were saying that a lot of people are considering not voting for her and voting for the Republican. But I'm gonna give you some more information on it. Let's get into this video right here with Representative Mark Kelly. They all the same. I just wanted to show this because it's the same talking points. They all get the same memo in their email. And hey, when they ask you this, say this, say that. It's all the same shit when the American people aren't stupid, bro. Hold on. My bad.
It's a terrible precedent, and I think you know that. And I can't believe Fetterman's the only one that acknowledges that a shutdown has been something you have taken off the table again and again and again. And now suddenly the ends justify the means for what you're looking at. and only one person in the Democratic Party has broken with the ranks. It's like, I don't understand it. It hasn't been working well for Democrats with Mamdani.
This is pretty simple. The government does not have to be shut down. It doesn't have to be shut down. We can
Senator,
fix this
now
here
you're just parsing,
in a matter of just a couple days. I mean, this could be easily solved by sitting down at the table.
To get past 60, you need some Democrats to reopen that's what's going to have to happen, Senator. You close the government down because you want $1.5 trillion for all these different things that Schumer wants. It's obvious.
So that's the thing. Like he's just being honest, bro. And I like this guy from CNBC. He just being honest, bro. He's being real, and he's saying, look, like, why are y'all trying to play us? Y'all keep saying that Trump has the presidency. This is the same talking point. They have the House and the Senate because they want to. They know the average person just doesn't know, even the small things about politics. People don't care. People just want to make sure, their finances are straight. And I understand that. I feel the same way. He knows and this is what I love about people who actually, and this is what I like about a lot of these anchors right now, they're actually pushing back on these Democrats because they know they're wrong. They're not going to outright say, but he is. And he's saying, like, stop playing games. You need 60 votes, and you need Democrats to also vote. All the Republicans are voting yes to open the government and voting on the same CR bill, bro. It needs 60 votes, though. Any bill that needs 60 votes, obviously you have to have, I believe they said 8 Democrats altogether vote on the bill. 3, Fetterman is one of them. I'm going to show a video with him. Here's one of the ones who agreed, who actually voted yes, and they needed 5 more in order to open the government. So these people are just playing games, and they're just hoping that enough people don't know what's going on or don't care to know what's going on for them to continue to just blame Trump for this shutdown. It's crazy.
It's to everyone, although, maybe you can convince the public that it's the Republicans, but it's not.
Joe, we are trying to prevent 2 million people from losing their health care coverage. And Joe, I think you know this. When people lose their health care coverage, some of those people die. Other people go bankrupt. We're trying to prevent this from happening. I've seen estimates that you're talking about tens of thousands of people a year that could have that kind of outcome if this isn't fixed. And we very simply can get this fixed and open the government. And here's the thing, the president has talked about how he wants this fixed. He wants these subsidies to be dealt with. So he agrees we should open the government and we should fix the subsidy issue under the Affordable Care Act, and that's all we want. So I don't see what the problem is.
Right.
And
so
if the president was to get engaged on this...
I saw you say that yesterday, sir, on I think Fox. You said if the president comes out and says, I will make that happen, you would trust him and go along with that. Is that how this ends? Is that how we reopen?
Well, I think we need the president to make that happen. He needs to engage with Mike Johnson and John Thune. They seem to follow his lead on everything. That's the way this ends.
Bro, these people are literally...
this hour, we talked with House Speaker...
They are literally jokes, bro. And, it's just sad, to be honest with you, because most people don't know what's going on, and they just don't care to know what's going on. And like I said, I get it. Like, nobody cares, bro. Just make sure prices is going down, and... make sure that when I get my check, everything ain't going to these bills, man. Like, I get it, man. It's really sad though, man. It really is. So the candidates that I'm talking about, is her name is Mickey Sherrill, and Jack. Damn, I don't know. Ciattarelli. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Let me see. Yeah, so basically it's Mickey Sherrill and Jack Ciattarelli. It's hard to say that last name. It's probably Italian, I'm assuming. But anyway, Mickey Sherrill is the one I'm talking about. She was asked about whether she would raise taxes, she said, I'm not going to answer that question at this time. So in short, it's yes, she's going to raise taxes in New Jersey. So this is what I mean. So people are blindly just go vote. I vote Democrat. So boop, 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 Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. And like I said, it doesn't mean that, some Democrats aren't going to be good for certain districts or certain cities, states, or whatever the case may be. But you really, wherever you're at, look into it and see what candidates are running and look into them, because it's not hard to find. She's literally, it says Mickey Shirley has been associated with controversies related to a Naval Academy incident from the 1990s and an ethics complaint regarding her, what's that say, Goober natural campaign funding. So something happened at the Navy Academy. It says massive cheating scandal occurred. Mickey Shirley has stated that she did not report classmates involved in the incident, and as a result, she was not permitted to participate in her graduation ceremony. So she did some shit cheating, and she said that the reason that she didn't walk or whatever is because she didn't tell. And then there was another one. Let me see. Accusations of political targeting. Cheryl and House Democrats have called for an interrogation into the release of accusing the Trump administration and the Ciattarelli campaign of illegally distributing her private information as a political dirty trick. NARA confirmed that a technician made a mistake in the release. So, hold up. That is not. I'm trying to see. And so, regular campaign stuff, like regular campaign stuff, they're going to go into they're going to go into your background. They're going to put your dirt out there. But allegedly, she's took money and stuff like that. She's been part of some corruption stuff. Don't know. It's allegedly, I'm assuming. But yeah, man, look into them, man. Look into these people that are in your city, in your state, that is running. Make sure that they have your best interests. And like my guy Dave Anderson said, man, we got to get to a point where we actually do have the funds to make sure that we're putting people that do have our best interests. I think that's important. And I think that's what does separate a lot of other races from us, is that, they actually invest into the government, into politics, into putting people in place that help, that can further their causes, whether it's in the neighborhood, whether it's, with, rebuilding in the cities. Like, it's so many different things that, we just, it ain't cool to get involved with coming from where we come from. And it's time to start waking up and really getting involved in these things, in politics, but more importantly, just in rebuilding our own communities, buying up our communities, buying houses and real estate and getting involved, period. Even if it's not in politics, let's start buying up our communities and stop letting everybody else gain and profit off of our cities that we're from. You know what I mean? Because most of us represent and die for the cities that we don't even own. Die for the block that you don't even own. You know what I'm saying? So that's backwards, man. We gotta start looking further ahead. But let's get into this short interview that John Fetterman had, who was the Democrat for Pennsylvania, had with CNN anchor.
So what are you hearing back home about SNAP expiring on Saturday?
I'm saying that I will witness it firsthand. My wife, Giselle, she develops the free store in our community, and it distributes food.
Well, let me try to see if I can fix this. I don't know if that's on their side or not, but let me see if I can fix this. My mic on there, man.
Food 3 times a week, and her lines have already got longer. And now I will encounter people that have no SNAP benefits starting on Saturday, and I don't have an explanation for them. All I could say is, I'm sorry. It's an absolute failure what occurred here for the last month, and now things are really going to land. And imagine being a parent with a couple kids and how you're going to fill their refrigerator and pack their lunches and get on with their lives when the things that they've depended on now is gone because we can't even agree to just open things up.
Democrats say, why not just pass a bill on SNAP and leave it at that? Is that the right approach?
Well, I'm saying it's like, why can't we pay those officers? It's, you know, the world's biggest lethal military in the world has relied on a donor to pay our service members last week. I mean, that's a disgrace. I mean, what kind of message does that send to the world?
Like, what is he saying that's wrong? He's saying 100% factual information. And mind you, he's a Democrat. He is one of the guys who actually voted to keep the government open. He is saying, like, he is asking them, oh, you know, the Democrats are all of a sudden now just trying to pay SNAP, but they're trying to use emergency funds that are supposed to go towards I believe FEMA and stuff like natural disasters. They're trying to use them funds in order to pay SNAP recipients instead of just opening the government. And like he's saying, why do all that when we could just open the government? Because SNAP recipients aren't the only people that deserve to get fed. Military, which is the best military in the world, has they had a donor actually pay the Trump administration to get them paid up. Without that, these guys go without feeding their families. And also all of the federal workers. I got a cousin who works for the feds. She's not getting paid. I know a TSA worker. They not getting paid. So it's like, bro, it's simple. Open the government up. But instead, they want to play games.
Right now. And that's the point. I promise you there's no hungry people in my state or in this nation that's going to be like, well, who's going to blink or who's winning and all this other things. We have to find a way forward. And I do fundamentally believe there would be a conversation to extend those tax credit to make insurance more affordable in my state and across this nation. But to put that in context, you have 2 million people on SNAP in my state, and over 400,000 are receiving those kind of tax credits. So it's a loser for America, and now these lives are really, really going to be impacted. And I mean, for a Democrat, I can't imagine a more sacred part of who we fight for is people that depend on SNAP to feed themselves. I mean, if for a Democrat, we're not allowed to just open this up, I mean, then our party has bigger problems than I thought we might have already. It's like, that's not controversial. Pay everybody. And you have our workers here borrowed over $350 million to pay their own bills. Like, it's a failure. And like I said, to all of the viewers, I'm apologizing that we can't even get our together and just open up our government.
Schumer said this gets better politically every day for Democrats. What do you say to that?
Yeah, well, ask the hungry people on Saturday. It's like, that's the thing. Americans are not leveraged. This is not some game show about who's winning or whatever. It's just like we have to be better than this and just open this up. And I do, talk to any number of Republicans who they agree that we have this conversation about extending these tax credits.
Do you think the elections next week are going to change anything here? Do you think it'll make it harder? Or do you think the elections next week are going to change the dynamics up here?
I don't. But I would be the kinds of pressure that will begin to bear next week. And what is that pressure? That pressure is Americans not able to feed themselves. Kids in Head Start, WIC, all of these things. That's my point.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
That
just
is
no
crazy,
way.
bro. I
Is no
forgot
way
about Wick, bro. Yo, I forgot about Wick, bro. That's even crazier because, you know, if a female isn't breastfeeding, you know, she's dependent on formula, bro. They be going through that formula. They need that. That's crazy. I forgot all about that. That gets even more wicked, bro. Bro. Hey, man. Make sure y'all go out and vote, bro. But shout out to John Fetterman, bro. You know, he pretty much was finishing up this, basically saying, you know, coming at his party, basically. And I honestly, bro, I don't see him being a Democrat. I think he's going to pull a Tulsi Gabbard move. I don't know if he'll go Republican. It's a possibility. But I just think he's coming to a point where he feels as though that his values and things don't align with the Democratic Party no more. Like, people don't understand, bro. RFK, Democrat, is with the Trump administration. Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat. Both of them lifelong Democrats. Tulsi Gabbard's got to be in her late 30s, maybe early 30s. I'm not 100% sure, but she's been a Democrat for her whole life up until this election. That says a lot about the Democratic Party for somebody to just, and she didn't just, you know, jump on board with the Trump administration. She came out and actually said that she flipped Republican. So it goes to show you, bro, that this Democratic Party of today isn't the same Democratic Party that people are latching on to and have latched on to for decades, man. It's not the same, man. And even back then, I just think, honestly, for decades, they have been able to get away with a lot of corruption and a lot of things that they have been doing. And because we didn't have social media, Facebook, YouTube, and all of these different platforms to, you know, get a lot of information from, including TikTok, which is a major one, you know, they were able to get away with so much. Now, listen, they ain't getting away with much no more, man. Like, if you are actually a person who watches even a little bit and you believe that Donald Trump is the reason why the government is shut down, then you're just lost, man. But let's tap in with RJ Talks, getting into this whole judge who is pretty much making Trump give people SNAP benefits. Let's get into it.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Friday, October 30th.
Yo, I don't know why I keep doing that.
First,
hold up. Oh, my bad.
Elon Musk blowing the whistle on why the Democratic Party is so intent, he says, on keeping the government shut down. Going on Joe Rogan yesterday, explaining why this is a make or break moment for them, why they have to do this, and that he says they could keep the government shut down until the midterms. We have the clip. We'll show you. Also, the redistricting fight heating up. Ohio's redistricting commission approving the new maps. And guess which party is expected to benefit? We'll show you that. And ground stops plaguing major airports across the country thanks to this government shutdown. We'll look at that, the details of it, if it could affect you and any of your holiday plans. Also, more stories as well from around the country.
Because they're no longer being paid to come to the United States and stay here.
Wow. So we are now in one of the longest government shutdowns in U.S. history. The second longest government shutdown ever is taking place right now at midnight tonight. SNAP benefits scheduled to run out. 42 million people about to go without their EBT welfare cards, or will they? Today, two Obama judges, one in Rhode Island, another in Boston, deciding the Trump administration is required to pay SNAP benefits during this shutdown, even if Congress has failed to appropriate the funds. One judge ordering Trump to find the money from somewhere else, ruling Trump has to bypass Congress, this judge says, and use FEMA emergency funds if he has to. Yes, money reserved for natural disasters, money that doesn't even come close to covering the month.
Yo, real quick, man. Sorry to cut him off, but I knew it, bruh. I knew it. I knew it had to be a Democrat appointed judge who made this decision. And all they're trying to do, they went and found any judge that they could to, override Trump's decision. Well, really, it's not even Trump's decision. It's really the Democrats' decision. Trump and them is saying, look, we're not passing this stuff that you're trying to, this $1.5 trillion that you're trying to add to the continuing resolution bill. We're not doing it. We're just trying to pass this clean resolution bill, and then we'll talk and discuss subsidies and all of that stuff after the government is open. They didn't want to agree to that. Obviously, the government still shut down. Now people aren't allowed, not going to receive their benefits. Now, I believe, even though this judge says this, I believe people still aren't going to get their benefits. And I only say that because these judges do have somewhat, they do have some level of power. But I believe how it would work would be Trump say no and take it to the Supreme Court, which would then prolong it even more. I don't know. Let's get some more information on this.
The cost of funding SNAP. This Obama-appointed judge just overruled the U.S. Constitution effectively. Only Congress can decide and appropriate where tax dollars are spent, not federal judges.
Moments ago, a federal judge in Massachusetts ruled that the Trump administration is required to use about $6 billion in a contingency fund, an emergency fund, to pay for SNAP benefits that will lapse tomorrow. After a month of the government shutdown, that government food assistance for 42-some million Americans was about to run dry.
Now, even with the judge's ruling, the emergency money falls short of supplying the full program.
This move, unfortunately, giving Democrats a break, a big, giant Halloween present, changing the narrative for them, putting the pressure back on the president instead of on Senate Democrats.
Yeah, that's what I said. They just trying to bail the Democrats out, bro. That's what they do. Bro, they got people in places, man, and unfortunately, not every single person that's a judge or a part of the Fed or anything like that is all Trump appointed people, unfortunately. So this is why they're allowed to play these games that they're playing, and it's crazy, man. But I think people are gonna wake up come the midterms and 2028. Like, people are done with the Democrats, bro. Just done. They're done dealing with this stuff. But what I think might happen though is people, because depending on, I don't know if it's like your last name or how it goes, but people get food stamps on the 1st, the 3rd, and I think like the 5th or something like that. It's like the first week, different days people get SNAP benefits. So basically people maybe on the 1st or the 2nd, I'm not sure how this is going to go, but certain amounts of people might get SNAP benefits, which is crazy, bro. This all could have been avoided. This all could have been avoided, bro.
Really belongs. They're the ones who are forcing the government shutdown, voting no on this clean CR. Now, why this is so critical is because if SNAP would have expired, Dems would have no choice but to cave and vote to reopen the government. The pressure is mounting, and Democrats would not allow SNAP to expire. That's what we're hearing. It's the reason these blue sanctuary state governors are making moves to fund it themselves. Yes, all week long, we've been seeing this. Governors in these large sanctuary states like Illinois, California, Massachusetts announcing they're going to cover the shortfall themselves for SNAP in their largest cities. Watch.
Federal government SNAP benefits are supposed to run on Saturday. What contingency plans are in place by
it's terrible. Fat ass.
We've made that clear.
I bet you his fucking SNAP benefits ain't going nowhere.
Well, we're
I know this nigga done robbed millions, bro. His fat ass ain't missing a meal. I tell you that much.
What we're trying to do is bolster the existing organizations out there that feed people. Remember that that they've done something insidious, the federal government, in addition to Donald Trump being willing to turn off SNAP benefits on November 1. When they do have emergency funds available at the Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and they're choosing not to use it.
The reason, from what we understand, is because the vast majority of illegals receive these welfare benefits. If they were to run out, if they were no longer incentivized, if the government was no longer paying these people to stay here for free, they would just leave. They would pack up and they would go back.
What did I say, bro? I said this yesterday. I said this, bro. I said that this is the reason why Trump is cutting the faucet off, bro. Like, it's not to, affect Americans. No, he's saying that, bro, they said 59%, more than half of the people that are receiving SNAP and welfare aren't even American citizens, bro. That in itself is wild, bro. Wow, just think about that number, bro. That is a huge number. Huge. They said 42 million. Do the math, bro. Do the math, bro. So if they no longer can receive assistance from the government, these people will voluntarily leave, which in return, these ICE raids that are happening will reduce, because people would just leave. They'd be like, they don't have anything here. You know what I mean? So, like, Trump is doing everything he can to better America, to get these people out, to get these people off of these programs that real Americans could be taken advantage of. And for us to have more money, he's making deals with all of these countries and bringing in money in the U.S. To lower the debt. He's making moves to lower the debt, and these Democrats are just doing any and everything, bro. It's so crazy
to their country of origin. This is what Elon Musk just said on the Joe Rogan Experience, that SNAP is a big fat red line that Democrats will not cross. They cannot risk losing that. Watch.
The reason you have the standoff is because if the hundreds of billions of dollars to create a financial incentive to have this giant magnet to attract illegals from every part of Earth to these states, if that is turned off, the illegals will leave because they're no longer being paid to come
here
to the United States and stay here.
Wow.
Right.
And then they will lose a lot of voters. The Democratic Party will lose a lot of voters.
And they would have a very difficult job if this is kicked out of reintroducing it into a new bill.
Yes.
Yep.
Especially once things start normalizing.
Yes. So, like, in a nutshell, the Democratic Party wants to destroy democracy by importing voters. And the Republican Party disagrees with that.
And the ruse is that if you don't accept what they're doing, then you're a threat to democracy.
Exactly.
Yes.
As they try to destroy democracy.
Yes.
By importing voters.
That is
and
literally what they're doing.
People to only vote for them.
Oh, my God.
And overwhelming the system.
Yes. And by the way, it's a strategy that, if allowed to work, would work. And in fact, has worked. California is supermajority Democrat.
Yeah.
And there's so much gerrymandering that occurs. It's crazy.
And he goes on. That is long.
Bro, this is Elon Musk, who, as we know, had a little rift with Trump. But I believe that he still fucks with Trump, and Trump still fucks with Elon. They align on it. They got this, same morals and intelligence to know what's going on. They seen it. And this is why Trump overwhelmingly won the election. Like Kamala Harris, that's what's hilarious about all of this. Like, just let them listen. He overwhelmingly won the election. She didn't win a single swing state. She didn't win anything. Trump won everything. And they act and then she gets on these shows and talks about this was the closest election in the United States history. Bitch, you don't stop lying. You don't stop lying. You lying ass motherfucker. Bro, they just want it. Remember I told you about the projection, bro. Projection is real. When they say that Trump is a threat to democracy, right? They're really saying I'm a threat to democracy. When they say Trump wants to be an authoritarian, he wants to be a dictator, they're really saying, no, we, the Democrats, want to be authoritarian dictators. Like, this is what they want. And look at, like, Elon just broke it down to you in the lowest form. They literally were flying. What other reason would you want to fly millions of illegal immigrants into America for? In history, when have they ever done this? And I ain't talking about the beginning of America when people were coming in and they were migrating to America and America was growing. No, I'm talking about in the past 50 years, when have any party ever just said and was actually going to get these people, flying them in, just letting them walk across the border, telling border agents, let them come in. Come on, bro. They were trying to get a new voter class. And it would have worked if Kamala won the election, because they would have more than likely won a majority, had the House, had the Senate, and it would have been hard for the Republican Party to combat all of that. Because they already had a lot of appointed people that were from Joe Biden's administration already in place. So, hey, yo, bro, people don't understand, man. People don't understand, bro. This shit was about
as long as these welfare payments keep flowing, Democrats can keep the government closed. That they'll do it. They'll keep it closed until the midterm elections if they have to. Because if they were to run out these SNAP benefits, they would lose that huge swath of illegals who our government's currently paying to stay here. As of this morning, the USDA was planning on freezing payments to SNAP starting November 1st. The program pays out tax dollars to 1 in 8 people in this country, not Americans, people. 1 in 8 people has a per month cost of $8 billion. And the more you dig into this program and who and what it provides, the worse it gets. Adam Carolla yesterday running down some wild stats about women on SNAP, how unhealthy, how overweight the average SNAP recipient really is. Check this out. Actually, before we look at that, a quick message from our friends over at Black Forest Supplements. Dump this brown powder in your coffee and become 27 for health before someone else does it for you.
You know, I was reading that SNAP's going to run out, and 40 million people are going to go.
40 million.
40 million. Okay, listen to me, everybody. This whole thing of like 40 million people are going to go hungry. First off, those 40 million people average an extra 40 pounds on them over the average working American. If you took the average person that's on SNAP getting free food and the average person that gets no free food from the government, the average female who gets no free food from the government is 146 pounds. The average SNAP recipient is 211 pounds. So
this is it a case
I know. First off, we talk about going hungry. Nobody could benefit from a nice fast more than the SNAP recipient.
It's Newsweek reporting that 1.7 million non-citizens are on food stamps. 1.7 million people, non-Americans, are getting free food paid for by you, the tax dollar, costing around $6 billion a year just for these non-citizens. $6 billion uploaded to those electronic benefit transfer cards, those EBT cards, those debit cards effectively that you could just walk into a supermarket and swipe and walk out with that free food. That's a whole lot of people, a whole lot of money. Republican Randy Fine announcing plans to introduce legislation to stop non-citizens from collecting SNAP benefits, and he says all other forms of welfare. And there's a big push right now in the Republican Party to get something like this done. Writing on X yesterday, I'm going to introduce a bill to ban all non-citizens from any form of welfare. No food stamps, no Section 8 housing, no Medicaid, no cash assistance, not one penny. Not one. If you want free stuff, go home.
Go home.
Let me know if you agree with Congressman Randy Fine. Should we be paying welfare benefits out to people here illegally or just non-U.S. citizens, especially when there's so many Americans who really need the help, Americans who are homeless, living on the streets? There's an epidemic of homeless veterans in this country.
And just think about how much more Americans can benefit. There is literally veterans that served for this country could have died, laid down their life for this country, and they're receiving $20, $25 a month for food assistance. So if you get all of these nut jobs that shouldn't even be here off of these welfare programs, you would have so much more funds available to go to more important things. But this is what they want, bro. They want to oversaturate these departments. This is what the Democrats have been doing. And in order to do that, you have to do what? Raise your taxes. Why you think Mickey Shirley is saying that, I'm not going to say that right now, because she just wants to raise your taxes. Kamala wanted to raise your taxes. The only people that I truly hear wanting to raise your taxes are Democrats, bro. I'm just saying. It's like you can't even trust these people, bro. And this is why it's important for us to make the government as small as possible. We need to vote for people who are going to eliminate a lot of the baggage in the government that is causing the $37 trillion in debt. We need to end all programs going to foreign aid. If it has nothing to do with allies, we shouldn't be paying it. Every country should learn to sustain itself. And believe it or not, there is countries that are actually saying that they are happy that Trump is cutting the faucet off because they need to get control of their countries. And if they're, just literally depending on America to, for food and for all of these different things, how is that benefiting them in the long run? It's not. It's not, and it never will. But this is what a lot of these politicians in America want. They want control over these countries. And like in some ways, it's like maybe a strategic thing, but for the most part, bro, it's so much money being wasted. So much. We talking billions and billions of dollars just being wasted. And it needs to stop, bro. And the only way it's going to stop is if we elect the people that's going to make it stop, bro. Get rid of the Department of Education. Get rid of USAID. Get rid of these departments. There's over 400 departments in the government. It should not be that many departments in the government, bro. Like, I'm just being honest. You shouldn't have all of these agencies, bro. You don't need them. Some agencies can collab and come together and be under the same umbrella. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to happen. It's the only way, America can sustain the, all of this. You got to get rid of the garbage, bro. Let's see what else RJ talking about.
And another story, ground stops plaguing major airports across the nation. One of the largest airports in the...
All right, so we ain't going to get into the airports. So let's move on. So let's tap in. Let's move on to other news, man. I'm like, I gotta start tapping in with, back with my Eagles, get into some Eagles news and shit like that, and just different stuff, man. But also maintain, giving people information on the culture, on politics and different stuff. But anyway, man, so right now, the Eagles are making for a big, big, big push. We have heard possibly of this in the past, and nothing came from it. So from what I'm hearing, Howie is making a big, big push for the one and only Myles Garrett. So let's finish out the show strong with this video with my guy.
Philadelphia's latest move has created some serious question marks. While the trade deadline is still days away, the players being linked to the Birds are only getting more dramatic. Down below. Now, of course, by now, Philadelphia has already made a trade, this time with the New York Jets, sending John Mechie in a 6th in 2027 for cornerback Michael Carter in a 7th. While everyone's first instinct was that Roseman traded for the Birds' newest outside cornerback, as mentioned about Fogg earlier in the show, that couldn't be further from the truth. Michael Carter, as most of you guys know by now, played 84.7% of his career snaps in the slot, which is 1.8% coming on the outside. In fact, 80% of those 44 outside cornerback reps, pretty funny, actually came back in 2023 versus none other than his new team, the Philadelphia Eagles. So right off the bat, Michael Carter does not solve Philadelphia's big outside cornerback problem like I initially thought that he might. We'll talk about Cooper DeJean here in a second.
Yeah, I was just about to bring up Coop. I think, honestly, they might end up doing it. I really like Cooper DeJean at nickel corner. I do. But I think he can really handle being outside corner, bro. To be honest. Yo, Cooper DeJean is a dog, bro. He's a dog. And I think he can handle that position very well. Tackles great. Very fast. I think that might be the goal. That's what it's looking like, unless they keep him at nickel. But then, what are they doing with Michael Carter? I don't know. Let's see.
But I've seen a lot of Michael Carter slander the past couple of hours, and it could not be further from the truth. Carter was so impressive coming out of the 5th round in 2021 that the Jets last offseason gave him a 3-year, $30 million extension. His big problem, however, is that after said extension, his 2024 campaign was injury-plagued, resulting in other younger cornerbacks taking his spot. Obviously, hence the trade. But it is worth pointing out that $30 million contract keeps him in Philadelphia long-term. It's not a 1-year rental. And he also waived a $5 million injury guarantee in order to come join Philadelphia. So don't worry about the contract. Focus on the player and what the Birds are actually getting. And if you respond by saying, well, his PFF grade this year isn't that great, I'm not going to argue that. You are correct. But his film from 2023, the last season he was fully healthy, shows he's clearly a very good inside slot corner, and obviously why Howie Roseman pulled the trigger. In fact, I actually texted a Jets reporter, my buddy Jake Asman, about Carter, and he replied with, quote, when healthy, he's a legit slot cornerback. But over the last year and a half, injuries and poor play have held him back. And this year, he looks banged up and maybe not a fit for the scheme. So when he's healthy, he's a great nickel corner. He's just not been healthy, therefore not playing well. And of course, now I start to wonder about the idea of even playing him this season. Will he get back out there on the field at all? Is he just going to be a future prospect? I don't know. But what I do know is everyone talking about, including myself, right at the trade actually happened, moving Cooper DeJean to the outside for Michael Carter to play the slot. That is not happening anytime soon. It's not just me saying this. Multiple NFL insiders have pointed out as well that they are hearing that Carter was simply a depth piece and not a DeJean replacement. For example, James Palmer, very plugged-in national NFL writer, tweeted yesterday, quote, my understanding is Michael Carter, who plays in the slot, will provide more overall versatility to the Eagles secondary. I wouldn't expect Cooper DeJean to be moving to the outside. And that, of course, is backed up by none other than Vic Fangio, who literally just 2 days ago told the media the answer the same as that question. Would he ever consider moving DeJean to the outside? And it's a very emphatic no.
We considered it, yeah. But, when you have one of the better players at a certain position, and it's an important position where you get involved more, you hate to take a really good player at one position to maybe not be as good a player or impactful of a player at another position.
Yeah,
but it's definitely something that we've talked about.
Is the school of thought that it's easier to find a slot than an outside corner? Is that incorrect?
My bad. All right, so let's get to this.
That might be correct.
After the Tuesday trade deadline.
I want to get to this Myles Garrett situation. Let's go.
Now, moving to the craziest story today, which you might click away right now whenever you see that I'm talking about Myles Garrett. But trust me, I did find the actual reporting on this, and it does sound somewhat legit, but either way, ESPN Cleveland spent the entire day today, Thursday, discussing a report floating around that the Eagles are willing to give up 3 first-round draft picks to trade for Myles Garrett before the trade deadline.
Rumor going around, and I have not heard it out of the Eagles, but I've heard it from a couple of other high-ranking people in other teams that are clearly on the phones that, Howie Roseman and the Eagles are super hot after Myles Garrett and how he'd give up 3 first-round picks for him.
If you're wondering where the report comes from, well, it was Yahoo Sports reporter Charles Robinson. It's their lead NFL reporter. So this is not some blog site, some SB Nation site, some crazy rumor made up on Reddit. It's a legit reporter saying that Howie Roseman really, really wants Myles Garrett. The problem is, they say at the end there, the Browns are not that interested. But this whole idea of Garrett being traded has been gaining a little bit of ground. I mean, Pat McAfee did a whole segment literally yesterday explaining how quote-unquote tradable Myles Garrett's current contract looks. Although as with all the A.J. Brown rumors, McAfee shockingly left out the $60 million dead cap hit the Browns would eat if they traded Garrett to Philly or anywhere else. Although technically, we do forget that Denver ate $80 million in dead cap money for Russell Wilson, so 60 is not some unheard of number. But then you're probably saying, Thomas, didn't Myles Garrett just this past offseason, he was linked to Philadelphia, we covered it, and then he signed back with the Browns and said that he wanted to stay in Cleveland. He wanted to win, but he wanted to stay in Cleveland, so why is he all of a sudden wanting a trade? if the rumors are true. And well, one idea comes from Cleveland reporter Bruce Drennan, who said this morning that Garrett resigned because the front office told him they were about to trade for Dak Prescott in the offseason. Hence why he might now be looking to move because they never got Dak Prescott. But again, much like the A.J. Brown trade, the dead cap, it just feels like too much here. And as Adam Schefter noted yesterday, for those wondering if the Browns will consider trading Myles Garrett by Tuesday's deadline, the answer is, in the words of one source, no chance. People have a better chance of winning the lottery. Still, you can juxtapose the Jeremy Fowler report from yesterday, where he also added, quote, the idea of the Browns trading Garrett isn't inconceivable, especially if that's what he wants. He didn't come out and say it in his news conference Sunday, but he also made it very clear he's not happy with the way things are going. Be the biggest move of the deadline or the next offseason trade market by quite a bit. If a team is desperate for an impact pass rusher, it might also be a call worth making. I'm just going to say this.
Yeah, I believe that too. I think, honestly, he might just go. Shout out to Thomas Mott too, man. Dope Eagles talk show. Definitely give you all Eagles insight. If you want to tap in with Thomas Mott for anything Eagles, definitely do so. And give him a subscribe. Definitely dope channel. But I believe that Garrett might not be in Cleveland come next season, to be honest with you. And the way the Eagles is pushing 3 first-rounders, he's worth it. He's definitely worth it. Myles Garrett is a fucking dog. And I would love to see Garrett in an Eagles uniform. That would be insane, to be honest with you. That would really make our defense so insane, bro. That would be dope. But I'm just so mad though. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I'm still in my feelings about why we got rid of CJ Garner-Johnson. And, we shouldn't have got rid of him. I don't care about the locker room shit. On the field, he was a dog. One of the best players on the team, on the defense. And we should have never got rid of him. I was cool with getting rid of Darius Slay, but I wasn't cool with the CJ Garner-Johnson move, bro. Because he helped so much in that secondary. And that's where we always that's where we've been having trouble a lot in these past, 5-6 years, is in that secondary. And we have yet to get a real cornerback. It's like we keep taking these chances on these, okay, prospects, a few, we had a few that was decent, but we haven't got that Jalen Ramsey, that Richard Sherman. Like, we just didn't get that. We don't have that pedigree yet. And that's what we need to go for, man. Like, we could have went and really considered Jalen Ramsey. I mean, still, just having that name on your team alone is a lie. You know what I mean? I think that would have been great. Myles Garrett, though, they be playing, though, man. Like, why even put them rumors out there, man? Like, who the hell wouldn't want Myles Garrett on the Philadelphia Eagles, man? Like, these people are crazy. They trying to gas us up. Yeah, that's be kind of pissing me off, man. But yeah, man. But anyway, man, that's the show for today, man. We're gonna keep it kind of short. I want to say, bro, we got to really start being in tune with what's going on, man. Because these people just be playing with us, man. They just be playing with us like it's nothing, and they don't care, man. I seen a clip where Hakeem Jeffries was asked, SNAP recipients aren't going to be getting their benefits and federal workers and whatnot, and they asked him, will he be basically declining his check, deferring his check? And he's like, I'm going to talk about that at a later time. Like, bro, these people they have nothing positive going, man. And the biggest thing is like, it's no solution. Everything is gimme, gimme, gimme. Free, free, free. Look at Mondani over there in New York City. Everything that he's preaching is all free shit. It's all free things. And then when he's asked how he's going to pay for it is, we're going to tax. It's just tax, bro. They just want to find ways and reasons to raise taxes. And all it's going to do is hurt the small people, bro. The small businesses and unfortunately, the lower class. And that's all that's going to do. So it's important for us, man, to really stop. Listen, bro, for 50, 60 years, they've been doing the same playbook. It's insanity at this point to continue to let these people do the same play. They keep running the same exact play. And you keep falling for it? I mean, come on, bro. Understand, it's just a party. It's just a group of politicians who come and go every 4 to 8 years. And that's it. Like, stop holding so much to any party, Republican or Democrat. You know, hold to your values, your principles, the things that you want your kids to be taught in these schools. You know, you got parents exposing, you know, going up to these schools that their children are going to, and they're in there having drag story time. Come on, bro. This is what it's come to in America. And if we don't put a stop to it, if you don't, you know, put the right people in place that have morals and principles aligned with what you believe in, it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody has to have the same religious beliefs or anything. It's just strictly just being, you know, moderate. Like, bro, we want to send our kids to school and know that they're safe, know that they're being taught and getting an education, a decent education. I'll worry about the extras when they're home. I don't want my son to come home and, you know, and this was a situation. I remember my nephew a few years back coming home and was saying something about this whole, I forget exactly what it was, but it was around the LGBTQ stuff. And it's like, bro, they're literally going after our children with the nonsense, you know, making our kids believe that, you know, men can be women and women can be men. I mean, come on, bro. Yo, a decade ago, bro, this type of stuff that's going on right now wasn't even thought of, fathomed at all. Nobody even talked about it because we just know what reality is. Now they're trying to make you think outside of reality and make you think things aren't what it is. It's like, come on, man. We got to stop, man. But, yo, man, be more in tune on what's going on. And that's the show for today, man. Make sure you tap in. My goal right now, and I'm trying to get it to where I have everything, you know, down to where every day I can go live. My goal is 7, but for right now, we're going to keep it at 8 p.m. Lock in with me at 8 p.m., Monday through Friday. If I do any videos on the weekend, it's because I, you know, really wanted to put something out there, and it's going to be more of a short form video. But definitely just look for it Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. But the goal is to get it to where I can go live at 7. That's the real goal, because I want to be more consistent with the times. I'm feeling like I'm not being consistent with, you know, the times I'm going live. I'm just randomly going live at different times, and I want people to really tap in with me at the appropriate time. So look for me at 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and that's what it's going to be. This your boy SL550. This is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Make sure you like, share, comment, and also subscribe to the channel. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I'm out.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
a poor man prayers.
Every man bleeds,
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.